What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Bartender Hideout, here for yet another episode of the Cocktail Countdown, episode number 41, and today we will be having a look at Brazilian's pride, the Caipirinha. Very interesting cocktail that I'm sure Uncle Bob has a lot to say about, definitely when it comes to the history part. As you know, this list is a part of the top 50 most popular drinks of 2020 according to Drinks International. And yeah, as I said, Uncle Bob will talk to you all about the history of this cocktail. Then I'll be showing you how to make this drink, and afterwards I'll be giving it a taste and telling you if you should give this one a try yourself or not. But for now, let's kick it over to the old guy. Hi there, and welcome back to Storytime with Uncle Bob. Here today for one of my personal favorites, the Caipirinha. Lovely. So, as some of you might know, this drink is made with cachaça, which is a specialty spirit from Brazil, and actually it has some Portuguese roots, but mainly it's a Brazilian drink. What is cachaça made of? It's actually made of fermented sugarcane, so it's kind of, you could almost say it's kind of like a rum liqueur. Another name that you might have heard about this this kind of spirit is aguardiente de cana, which is a little bit more for like the Portuguese would call it this way, and there's another couple of countries that we call it now. If we have a look at the Caipirinha, it was basically invented by some farmers, or at least that's how the story goes. Some farmers in the area of Piracicaba, which was in Sao Paulo, and this was around the turn of the 19th century. It was served as a local drink for parties and events, which the farmers in the end made famous. Also, where the name derives from, it's probably the caipira, which loosely translates from a Brazilian to someone from the countryside, as it was made by farmers. This works perfectly. But in the end, if you think of Brazilian drinks, you think of the Caipirinha, you think of cachaça, and it's really cultural embedded by now in Brazil, basically. This is by far the most well-known Brazilian cocktail. Who is definitely not by far the most well-known bartender is Kun. You know it. Let's throw it over back to him. Hi there, and welcome back from Uncle Bob. Okay, so let's get going with this Caipirinha. This is actually one that we are gonna be building straight in the glass, so can't get them more simpler than this. Only a couple ingredients as well, so again, this one should be pretty easy to make at home. We're gonna start off just like we did with our mojito. Gonna cut some lime wedges, 4 to be precise in this case, and gonna add them straight to our glass. Then, next ingredients. I will be using some cane sugar. There is multiple ways. You can also just use normal sugar, like the white kind. I'm not sure what it is in English, but that one. But I tend to use the cane sugar since it just works a little bit better flavor-wise in this Caipirinha, for me at least. So we'll add 2 bar spoons of that to our glass, as you just saw. And then as a final ingredient, I'll be using Ipioca Reserva, which is a cachaça, and this is the main ingredient basically. So I'm sure Uncle Bob told you already, it's the base or the main spirit, national spirit of Brazil. Very important there, as is this true classic coming from Brazil. So we'll add 2 ounces of that to our glass, or 60 ml for all of your Europeans out there. And then we will be muddling up all of this just like we would do with a mojito. Make sure we get all of those juices out of the lime, and make sure we don't overdo it too much, because if you really muddle up that lime too much, it will get bitter because of the rind that's on there. We don't want to really do that, so make sure to go easy on it. We don't really have to destroy it, you know. Okay, so once we've done that, we add our crushed ice. Just don't want to fill it up completely just yet. And what we want to do is give it a good little churn to make sure that all the ingredients are all throughout the drink, so you don't get all the ingredients sitting on the bottom. And if you obviously put a straw in it, first step you get is all of your flavor, and you want to have the flavor all throughout the drink. So what we do is we'll make sure we properly churn it so we get all the flavor towards the drink. Go. And also, obviously, while we're doing this, we are diluting the crushed ice a little bit to make sure that we actually have some dilution there, and we don't only taste the cachaça, which in my case is a good thing, I think. But it's always good to have a little bit more of a balanced cocktail, obviously, than when you are only tasting spirits or anything like that. So add a little bit more crushed ice just to make it look nicer as well, and we're gonna be needing a straw to make sure that we can sip it properly. And as a last touch, I'll just add our dehydrated lime, and there we go, guys. That is our caipirinha. Okay, let's give it a taste. I haven't had a caipirinha in a while, I realize. I always figured it wasn't, like, it's still, let me say, Frank, it's still not one of my favorite cocktails. I don't think it will ever be my favorite cocktail. But I don't think it's as bad as I had it in my head. I think cachaça is not really my spirit. But still, it works. I mean, it's a national spirit for a reason, right? There's a whole country that goes off of this stuff, so there must be something in it. And yeah, I mean, it is quite nice and nicely balanced in the end, and the dilution really does a lot as well. Like, if you just add enough crushed ice to it, then it's gonna obviously dilute a little bit as well. So that takes away some of that flavor of the cachaça, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. I'm not in this case. I'm not an expert on the caipirinha, but I'm sure you guys will let me go on that one. Well, obviously this one might not be the biggest success for this week. Obviously, as you guys know, we've been doing this for a couple weeks now, so there's definitely some cocktails in there that get a little bit more of an enthusiastic result for me. But yeah, you can't all have winners in a list this big, alright? So if you do enjoy what we are doing, and if you do enjoy all of our previous episodes that we did, that you did like, definitely make sure to drop a like on this one still, and also subscribe to the channel if you enjoy what we are doing. We do it with a lot of pride, we do it with a lot of joy, and yeah, I think that's all I've got for you for this week, guys. Definitely make sure to drop in next week for yet another enthusiastic video, I'm sure. But for now, I'll see you next week.